the most fantastic club that this is. So please give a huge round of applause for Joe Jacobs. Joe Jacobs, ladies and gentlemen. Comedy Store, how are we doing? It's lovely to be here. I'm Joe Jacobs. I'm a Jew. Thank you. It's a Jewish name, Joe Jacobs, isn't it? Yeah? Might as well be Jacobs. Just a step up from Adam Steen. Got myself a Jewish penis. Thank you. Yeah. Any other cut lads in tonight? Give me some skin, brother. Huh? No, please do. I'm at that age now where a lot of my friends are kind of getting married, having kids, buying houses. I'm starting to ask myself if I'll ever be ready to settle down in that way. Luckily, the economy has made that decision for me. No. I do have a girlfriend at the moment. I love her very much. She does drive me a bit mad, though. She's a big fan of the hypothetical argument. You might have experienced this yourself. She'll say things to me like, if you were single and you bumped into my friend Chloe in a nightclub, would you sleep with her? It's not enough for this woman to be angry at the things I'm doing in reality. She wants to throw me in the fucking Matrix as well. I don't miss being single though, you know. I remember chatting up a girl in Scotland last year. Thought it was going quite well. She turned around to me, she said, if you come any closer, I'll break your fucking fingertips, you cunt. Yeah, so naturally at that point I backed off a little bit, right? And then her friend approached me seconds later and said, Laura really likes you, by the way. Trying to be a better man at the moment, trying to learn about sexism. You know, I'm learning about the expectations society place on women. They're judged if they're not married at a certain point, judged if they're not having kids at a certain point, objectified in the media, underrepresented in comedy. I've read about the wage gap, of course, and I'll be absolutely devastated if any of my fellow female performers didn't receive the 0 pence I did for last night's gig. I've read about catcalling. Women get catcalled a lot by builders, don't they? Hashtag not all builders, but you know, some. And even when the builders get reported to senior management, they then just become more creative with catcalls. Instead saying things like, good morning. That is a lot harder to report, isn't it? Lads, women don't like to be catcalled. If you're going to catcall a woman, make it something positive at the very least. For example, ooh. Let me finish. I bet you got a BA honours. Get your thesis out for the lads. I'm reading about fat shaming, body shaming, resting bitch face, of course, and manspreading. Mansplaining. We all know what mansplaining is. Basically when a man explains something to a woman, just a kind of patronising sort of way. All good? Great. Most important thing about this newfound knowledge is I'm able to call out sexist as and when I see him. I was able to do this recently. I was with a friend of mine. He's a geezer. You know, that's the geezer noise, of course. We're walking down the street together. This woman crosses the road in front of us. He starts nudging me, saying, cool, fucking hell, look at that, eh? Would you, eh? Would you? And I want to be a geezer too, right? But I also have this new enlightenment, you know? So I compromised and said, yes, I would. Yeah, I'd love to value her opinion. Like a changed man. I love comedy. When I'm not doing this, I'm at a desk, you know, and I'm not cut out for the corporate world. The other day, someone came in my office, introduced themselves to me. They said, John Reynolds, MBA. And I panicked and just said, Joe Jacobs, F you. Another language in the workplace, you know, everyone's pinging emails. Anyone ever been pinged an email before? Ping you an email? Ping you an email? I'll definitely ping you an email. I recently found out that pinging an email is the same as emailing an email. It's just sent by a different kind of person. Kind of person that meets for a quick catch-up at the end of play, settles the deets as soon as possible. Yeah. Twat, in other words. Can't deal with the social media jargon, right? I remember someone came up to me once, they said, are you on Slack? I'll Slack you it. Another day, another meeting, someone said, I think you'll find that function is available on Hootsuite. But once someone approached me and said, here are our learnings from JITL. And I lost it at that point. I said, what the fuck is JITL? And he looked back at me and said, JITL is our new community manager. He started last week. I'm not good with technology. I'm a bit of a Luddite. I've only just got used to text speak. I like text speak. I like how you can put a kiss at the end of a text message so people know you're not being passive aggressive. Quite nice. It's a shame you can't do that as an adult in real situations, you know? Like a job interview or something. You know, unfortunately, we've spoken to a number of participants and we feel you're not quite appropriate for this particular role, I'm afraid. Nice, right? I like comedy, though. I like comedy. I've had some bad jobs in my time. The worst job I ever had in my life had to be working for Domino's Pizza in Leeds. They wouldn't give me one of those thermal jackets they gave all the staff unless I paid for it out of my own wages, you know, which of course I couldn't because I worked for Domino's. So instead I had to travel the Arctic conditions of the north in a shirt. These were very tough times. I took a lot of care in that kitchen though, preparing the products, you know, polishing the pepperoni. That's not a euphemism. I didn't love pizza that much. Everything I made was lovingly put in a box, gently nudged into my car, put out a protective arm if I hit the brakes too hard. And each one of my deliveries were done by hand in one of those heat-proof bags. And that's about the exact moment I realized this fucking pizza has a better quality of life than I do. Trying to look after myself at the moment. I might have to give the gym another go. You know, I'm not a fan of the gym, guys. There's only so many middle-aged men I can watch blow-drying their pubes a day. Why do they do that? If I'm in a room naked, surrounded by other naked men, do you know what item of clothing I'm going to put on first? My underpants. Naked middle-aged man in a gym. Oh, no. You know what he goes for first? Socks. You know what he goes for next? Shirt. You know what's after that? It's a fucking tie, in my experience. Last time I went to a gym, this is what happened, all right? I was in the changing room, just done my little workout, triceps and everything, which in itself is not very funny, but thank you anyway. I'm aware I've got the posture of a quaver. That's why I'm in the gym. Anyway, there was a man in there who's blow-drying his pubes, as I mentioned, right? And he was really going for it. You know, he's really giving it some... You know, he was stroking them. He was cradling them. He was keeping them safe and warm. And I remember thinking to myself, this old man's pubes has got a better quality of life. I've been Joe Jacobs. You've been fucking brilliant. Enjoy the rest of your night. Goodbye. Joe Jacobs, yeah? That is...